Okay, so I'm going to talk about cross-generational teams and having people serving, and how do you get people serving from all different generations and partnering to support kids ministry and kids. So my husband's a church planner, so our church is only 3 years old. And when we first started, we just had like 20 people. And so, kids' church was really easy. It was their moms and people with passion for kids ministry, and they just did it. It was good. It worked that way for about 2 years. It was always the same people, the same parents serving, and the teens would go and they would help, or they would hang out. That's kind of what we did. We were a small church. And then about a year ago, we bought some property, and our kids ministry started to develop. And I just want to give some props to Nikki and the district, because last August, I took my very small team to a training in August through the district. And we left there, and I told my team, throw everything away that we know about children's ministry. We're starting over. So you might feel that way today, that you're learning new things and you have to start over. And we started over, and it was amazing. So that's the first thing I want to tell you is tap your kaleidoscope. Maybe you need to change your vision and be willing to throw away your plans. And I think if you're in a small church or you're doing a lot of volunteer service, that's a good way to be. From experience, I'm talking here. So that's the first thing. Let's see. We were finding that our church was our kids ministry was over here to the side, and there was the rest of the church, and there was kids. And after, I'm married to the pastor, so that gave me a little bit of clout, because I went home from training saying, "What is my budget?" And he said, "For what?" I go, "Children's ministry." He goes, "This is your budget." Not okay. And we went home and we started to reevaluate everything. And I was like, "Not okay, dude. You want to eat, you want clean clothes, not okay. All right, you got to leverage everything, right? You got to leverage it all in kids ministry to get what you need. Okay? So you got to be willing to lead with a new approach, and you have to lead with expectation. So we went home motivated, and we were expecting our church to partner with us. And that began a shift in how we began to do ministry. We started connecting and talking more about what was going on in kids ministry, not just having them come in at Christmas time and sing fun songs and, oh, they're so cute, but we started to look with different eyes, and we learned that at our last training. Look for volunteers in different places, in the unexpected places. So that's tip number one. Look for volunteers in unexpected places. There was a man in our church who would every once in a while come into kids ministry with snacks. And he would just come in, "Here, I brought snacks for the kids today." And he just had a passion for kids, but not serving in the ministry itself. So he became our person that would help clean outside of the building and fix broken things. And he became like the handyman that would help get the building ready for special services, specifically for kids. And he's an older gentleman, and that's how he serves alongside. We would get people into kids ministry and ask, like, "Hey, are you interested in media? We have this one woman who used to have a flower shop." And I asked her, "Hey, would you be interested in doing decorating for children's ministry?" And now we don't even know when she's there. Like, she's like the decoration fairy. She shows up if we come into church on Sunday, and boom, there's like Easter decorations, or on Valentine's Day, like boom, and things are changing. And she's serving alongside the ministry. She's a grandma, and she just is creative, and she's serving alongside the ministry. Okay, so and so these are creative ways that you can partner with other ministries. We had a women's brunch at Christmas time, and we're looking for ways to bridge our children into our older generations and have our older generations investing into our younger generations. And so this was another, Nikki, like, I love you. You are amazing. Okay, so Nikki introduced me to quiet bags. I love the word quiet. Right? Which I'm not really the right person for children's ministry because I like quiet. Anyway, she introduced me to this idea of quiet bags that kids could have during service if they were sick or just needed to be with their parents, something they could do quietly or before service. So we took this to our ladies at our women's brunch, and we took empty paper bags and we clipped to them quiet bags ideas. The bags were empty, and we asked them to fill up the bag and bring it back to us. And they did. And it was amazing. We have a couple dozen, close to probably a couple dozen now of these quiet bags. And then another lady, she brought hers back all sewn and pretty, like with animals on the outside. She themed her bag. So I'm like, ding. Maybe she will make me other bags. So I gave her all the paper bags and asked her to make me quiet bags by theme, and they're amazing. But then now these women who are grandparents or parents that they're serving alongside the ministry, and they're coming into children's ministry to drop things off. They're seeing the kids. They're loving it. So thinking about like how people can serve children's ministry without actually being in the classroom or in the building, or if people have administrative gifts. I have a volunteer who's here with me today, and she has administrative gifts. So that's great because she gets to do all those volunteer forms, right? That's great. So looking for creative opportunities for people to serve alongside. So we have people in our church that have media gifts. They are now helping us set up ProPresenter. Our church is really little. But now we have ProPresenter, and we're doing some cool things. And don't be afraid to make the ask. Hey, I need TVs in every single room in my children's building. My husband's like, great, how are you going to pay for that? I'm going to ask people. Right? Because maybe they can't serve in the ministry, but grandparents, they want to bless their grandkids, and they want to bless the people that are blessing their grandkids. So ask them, can you buy me a TV? I had one guy buy me 2. Right? It was amazing, right? It's good stuff, right? So now we have people coming in to decorate. It is amazing. So, of course, my husband, he's the pastor, he has to watch the budget. He's remembered zero budget. Yeah, I know zero budget. I got it. So I go to my decorating lady and I say, you know what? My husband, he remodeled the building and it looks great. I don't know where he came up with the money because it was zero budget, but whatever. But he didn't get to the bathroom. Do you think that you could come up with a vision for our children's bathroom and then go and price things out, right? Because see, if people catch a vision, right, they will run with it, and the pastor will not have a chance. He will have to remodel the bathroom in children's ministry. Tracy, if you watch this, I love you. Okay, he's probably going to see this. But so this is how people can come alongside you and serve kids ministry without actually being in the ministry directly. So be multi-purpose when you're thinking about children's ministry. Everything you do, think from a generational perspective. Okay, so we had zero budget, and that's okay. We have kids that are going to camp, and we're helping families fundraise. So I'm going to share with you one of our best fundraisers. We just started it last year, and we can throw up some pictures. So, oh my gosh, that's the front of our church. My husband was in service. He didn't know we were outside and did this, and then we put up a picture during announcements that he didn't know was going to be there. Okay, and that's somebody's house. I hope they go to our church. Okay, oh, that's me and my granddaughter. That's my lawn here. And we started a fundraiser. You guys know flamingos, you've been flocked, okay? Well, we use this, you've been egged. And this is how we went around our neighborhood and we started egging people. One rule, if you egg somebody, you have to know them and have a good relationship, because we were gonna show up at their house and egg their lawns. But this was our fundraiser, and we announced it at our church, and people began to nominate friends and family to be egged. And we would go and we would egg their yards, and we would take their yards hostage. So a ransom note would appear on their front door. It was very, very fun. And see, there's one of our littles. He was getting into it with his mom now. Now he's photobombing, okay? And we would go out and we would egg yards, and people would donate. And we've raised, Danielle, what do you see? We're almost at $1,800. $1,800. We're a really small church. That's a big deal. A lot of our kids and our counselors are going to get a lot of help to be able to spend a week at camp. So this gets the generations involved, again, because grandparents can be a part, parents can be a part, friends can be a part. And here's a funny story. We egged the wrong house just the other day, right? I got a text message, Shelley, ha, 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 we egged the wrong house. What does that mean? What does that mean? Was it this one? Right? Okay, what does that mean we egged the wrong house? Somebody in our church had moved and didn't update their address. Right? The person, this strange number is calling, my yard's been taking ransom. Who is this person? This guy who moved into the house, he gave us $20. He paid his ransom. We didn't even know him. It's amazing. But we were telling our community, right? We made these, this is all homemade stuff. These are homemade signs. This is how we invited our community to church. And now we're doing one for Christmas where the men are going to build out of pallets Christmas trees and decorate them with lights. They're already starting to work on them. And we're selling them because we have zero budget, so we have to raise our own money. And we're selling those in our church. But those are ways that across generations, right? And then our littles, they see that. And they see their teens serving, and they see their moms serving, and they see their grandparents serving. And we start then the teaching of the expectation, right? The expectation to lead and to serve and to bless across generations. And so my word today that I put in my little packet was out of Psalm 145. One generation will commend your works to another, right? So being cross-generational in how you think and getting everybody involved, and you can build your budget and your pastor will freak out, but it'll be okay.